In June of 2009, a man arrived in a quiet Irish town carrying a purple plastic bag. Over the next 3 days, he would be seen methodically discarding item after item, as if he was erasing himself from existence. When his body was found washed up on the shore, the mystery of who he was and what he was hiding only deepened. This is the story of the man who called himself Peter Bergmann, a man who seemed determined to vanish, not just from life, but from memory itself. On June 12, 2009, a tall, thin man with gray hair stepped off a bus into the seaside town of Sligo, Ireland. He wore a black leather jacket, dark trousers, and carried that now famous purple plastic bag. He checked into the Sligo City Hotel under the name Peter Bergmann, giving a fake address in Vienna, Austria. From the very beginning, something was off. Witnesses later recalled that he never smiled, never spoke more than a few words, and always seemed to be watching the world around him. Over the next 3 days, he was seen walking the streets with his purple bag, then returning without it, again and again. Security cameras caught him on at least 13 different occasions disposing off unknown objects, but never once revealing where he put them. It was almost like he was staging a magic trick, making his life, his belongings, and eventually himself disappear. On June 15, 2009, Peter Bergmann checked out of the Sligo City Hotel. The front desk clerk later recalled that he was polite, calm, almost eerily ordinary. He carried his usual purple plastic bag, along with a small black shoulder bag. He walked to the local post office, where he bought 8 stamps and airmail stickers. No one knows what he mailed that morning or to whom. Whatever letters he sent have never surfaced. From there, he stopped at a cafe for coffee, then walked to the bus station. A taxi driver picked him up and drove him to Ross's Point, a quiet coastal village on the edge of Sligo Bay. The driver would later describe Bergmann as friendly but reserved. He made small talk, nothing unusual. When he stepped out of the car, he thanked the driver, shouldered his bag, and began walking toward the beach. The next morning, a local man walking his dog stumbled upon a body lying on the sand. It was Peter Bergmann. At first glance, it looked like he had simply lain down and never gotten back up. His clothes were neatly arranged. His jacket was zipped. His shoes were on. There were no signs of a struggle, no obvious injuries, no trace of a drowning. But when investigators searched his pockets, they found nothing. No wallet, no money, no phone, no passport, not even a single clothing tag. Every possible identifier had been removed. When the body was taken for examination, investigators expected answers. Instead, they got only more questions. The autopsy revealed that Peter Bergmann had died from a sudden heart attack. There were no signs of drowning, no bruises, no external injuries. On the surface, it looked like a natural death. But inside, doctors found something troubling. His lungs were blackened, severely damaged from years of heavy smoking. He also suffered from advanced prostate cancer and bone tumors that would have caused him immense pain. In other words, Peter was a very sick man, but he had never told anyone. And here's where it gets chilling. Toxicology tests showed no medication in his system. Not for pain, not for cancer, not for anything. Despite being gravely ill, this man wasn't taking a single pill. Investigators were baffled. Was this deliberate? Had he refused treatment? Or was he making sure nothing in his body could help identify him? The mystery deepened when they examined his clothing. Every single label had been carefully cut out. Shirt, trousers, underwear, even his socks. No brands, no country of manufacture, no trail to follow. It was as though Bergmann had meticulously erased every clue to his past. So who was he really? An Austrian tourist? As his fake hotel registration claimed. A man on the run? Or someone who simply wanted to vanish, choosing Sligo as the place to stage his quiet exit from the world? Police quickly realized they were dealing with something far from ordinary. They reviewed every second of CCTV footage from Sligo, dozens of cameras around the hotel, the post office, the bus station, and the streets. What they found was unsettling. Peter Bergmann was constantly aware of the cameras. He never once revealed where he was discarding the contents of his purple plastic bag. Every time he dropped something, he managed to step just outside of view. It was deliberate, almost rehearsed. Detectives traced his name and address. The problem? Both were fake. The Vienna address he wrote down didn't exist. No country reported a missing person matching his description. It was as if he had been born the day he stepped into Sligo. Even Interpol got involved. They circulated his photo across Europe, but not a single lead came back. Not one family member, not one friend, not one workplace came forward to say, "That's him." The man known as Peter Bergmann had succeeded in becoming a ghost, and so theories began to swirl. Some believed Peter knew he was dying. His cancer and lung damage meant he didn't have long left. Maybe he chose Ireland, a quiet, distant place, to slip away, anonymously, sparing his loved ones the grief. Others point to his behavior with cameras, his meticulous removal of labels, his secrecy. Was Peter some kind of former intelligence agent, covering his tracks one last time? Another idea is that he was escaping something. Debts, enemies, maybe even the law. But if so, why end up on a lonely Irish beach? Whatever the truth, one fact remains. Every step he took was calculated to make sure no one could ever trace his story. To this day, Peter Bergmann's true identity remains a complete mystery. No family has claimed him. No missing persons report has ever matched him. And the letters he mailed on that final morning in Sligo have never been traced. It's as though Peter wanted to be remembered not for who he was, but for the enigma he created. The case has haunted investigators and fascinated the public for over a decade. Sligo locals still talk about the strange man with the purple bag who walked their streets, erasing his past. Documentaries, forums, and online communities continue to search for answers. But every theory leads to another dead end. What makes this case so chilling is not just the mystery of his death, but the mystery of his life. Who spends their final days ensuring that they will never be remembered. Maybe Peter Bergmann was a man running from his past. Maybe he was a spy covering his tracks. Or maybe he was simply someone who wanted to vanish completely, to prove that even in the modern world, it is still possible to disappear. And he succeeded. Because today, the only thing we know for certain about Peter Bergmann is that he wanted us to know nothing at all. Who do you think Peter Bergmann really was? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this mystery intriguing, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mysterious stories from around the world.